Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem video. It's a postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 45 where I played the English opening, c4. So my opponent selected reverse Sicilian by playing e5 here. And we went down the normal moves for a couple. I guess g3 is not the most common. That's the way I usually play it. Knight c3, g3, bishop g2 to try and dominate the light squares here. I guess knight f3 is playable here. But anyway, there's a way to play it. It's okay. And the immediate d5. Yeah, I was starting to get annoyed by this move, but it looks like it's a standard move. It just clears out the center there, so it doesn't quite work to my advantage here. Bishop g2. And c6 is a bit unusual, and the normal response here would be knight f3. So if we back up, instead of c6, maybe he could just retreat the knight to b6 because it is under attack, or back to e7, more commonly played. But I don't know if there's anything particularly wrong with c6. Didn't see anything looking at it with the computer. I'm going to leave the computer off, by the way, so we have the ability to do tactical quizzes. And so immediately, instead of knight f3, which would be a good move here, he can't advance a pawn because I can just take it. So it would force him to defend. I played the move e3, and I was aware I was weakening some squares over here, but it also weakens these squares, and black could take advantage of it with the move knight b4, which he didn't play, but I just wanted to point out e3 is actually a bad move in this position because of knight b4. And followed up by bishop f4, he can try and attack this square here, or maybe sink a knight in here with check. So it's a little bit tricky for me to defend this position. So that would have been a good move for black, and given black an advantage. Not necessarily winning, but a better position overall. Instead, he played bishop c5, and the game continued with normal developing moves here, castles, and the take. So the game was probably about even up until bishop takes e2. This gives white a slight advantage because that bishop was a good piece, and there was no reason to give it up for a knight. And it hasn't really disrupted my development at all, that exchange. So there's no reason for that exchange. And now I can play the move d4 and get a strong presence in the center. And here b3, the move b3 was also criticized. I guess it's better to play a move like knight c3, immediately challenging this knight. That's black's best piece in this position, so if I can get him to trade that off or force him to defend it, then I've got something. So b3 is probably okay, but it's not really challenging his position. So knight a6, bishop b2, queen here, hitting my knight, and I defend it with rook e1, and here he plays bishop a5. And I sort of half realized this after I moved. I thought, oh, I've got to move this rook out of the way, and I did. But I don't have to move the rook out of the way. I could have played knight c3 here, because when I move the knight to there, it hits his queen. And when the queen moves, then I can move my queen, say, to c2 and defend all of that. The knight is under-defended there. He's attacked twice and defended once. But because he goes there with tempo, due to the attack on the queen, then that buys me a move to defend it. So knight d7 would have been a better move there. When I play my rook back to f1, now black is slightly better once again. So not the best way to play that. He chases my knight away. So basically I lost the advantage. I gained the advantage when he played bishop takes e2, and then I lost the advantage by not playing the best moves in that position. Queen g6. And right here is the tactic. Yeah, so this is your tactics quiz for this video. It's kind of cool. It's white's turn to move. So what's a good move? It's actually a sequence of moves, and you have to see basically two moves to understand why this is good. So take some time to think about it. Pause the video and consider it. I'm going to go ahead and give away the answer now. So yeah, pause the video if you want some more time. It's worth thinking about. Okay. The sequence starts with the move bishop takes d5. And you might think there's nothing special about that, and that move by itself doesn't do a whole lot. In fact, it gives up my good bishop for his good knight, so probably a fair trade on that account. But after he takes back, then I have this second move, and that's really the key to this tactic, and hopefully you can spot it. Take a second to look at it. Here it is, bishop to a3, and this rook over here is trapped, and he can't interpose anything. Earlier, if I had tried this, he could have put the bishop there, but since I have the knight on d3 covering that square, he can't even block the view of the bishop, so he's just going to lose the exchange here. So that would have been a good tactic. I didn't spot that during the game. I was thinking of kicking his bishop around so I could get my knight back up, my rook back on a good square. So I went ahead with my plan, which is not bad, but just not the best. And I start to get some kind of advantage along here. I guess the move b5 is probably not the best reaction here, because after this sequence here, now my position is better again. And I retain the advantage for the rest of the game. I poke around with the knight, attacking his queen and hitting his backward c-pawn. Yeah, I guess that was the problem with the move b5. It's not that there was, another move that was so much better. It's just that this move weakens the square c6 and gives me a target. So that was the black's last mistake. So I can start piling up on that, and then I hit on the idea of sinking knight into c5, which is pretty strong. If he takes it, I get a strong pawn there, and he still has a backwards c6 pawn. I can kind of attack there from the side. So here he trades queens and plays knight d5, and this actually loses a pawn outright, although the computer thought this was one of the best moves in the position. So it just means that black's position has gone downhill enough that he's going to lose a pawn anyway. Another point is that I have the two bishops here, which usually confers an advantage. Particularly as you go into the endgame and the game opens up, the bishops have a lot of scope and they cover all the squares. Between the two of them, and they can move fast from one side to the other, one side of the board to the other, they can move rapidly, whereas the knights have to hop slowly from one side to another. So anyway, I pick up the pawn. I give up the bishop pair, but I get a pawn, and I'm just better. From here on out, I can use my bishop to harass his pieces and try and kick him around. He tries to get some counterplay, but there's just nothing that's going to work out for him here, basically. And this check here, I was a little worried about. Bishop h6, yeah, he goes here. I take the pawn, and then he comes there with check. But I had to calculate enough to realize my king wasn't getting caught in a perpetual. You don't want a situation where the rook can go back and forth between these two squares and ruin what could have been a winning position, turn it into a draw. But you can see that's not happening here. I can step to the side. He's got to move the knight away, and now he can check here, but then I can put my king on the square f1, and he doesn't get another check. So he can't get a perpetual check, which is what he was trying for here, I think. So he saw that failed. He tried moving his king, but actually his only move here to stop, hopefully you can notice this tactic. This is a checkmate, and a common pattern with the bishop and rook. His only move to stop it is to retreat his rook, but I'm still going to win with my extra pawns on the queen side. So we just got a quicker finish with checkmate, and that was pretty much all she wrote. So a short post-mortem there, but hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I will see you again soon. Bye.